Hello everyone, and welcome back to Empire Pro. Or, if you're new here, thank you for clicking on this video. Today I want to discuss the recent John Cena promos on WWE Television to look at what I believe isn't really working with his current heel run right now. Whilst his initial heel turn on Cody Rhodes at WWE's Elimination Chamber PLE was shocking, exciting, and had many people speculating where it could lead, we seem to be stuck in the vortex of somewhat cringy Cena promos where he doesn't really feel edgy. He doesn't feel like I wanted his heel run to feel. Granted, we're only a few weeks in, but his promos and acting skills aren't exactly out of this world. And that's not entirely his fault by any means. I just don't quite connect with heel Cena. I don't believe anything he's saying. And in truth, none of his justifications for turning heel make a whole lot of sense either. So let's take a look at what WWE and John Cena are missing in one of their most important storylines of all time. A big part of why John Cena's heel turn isn't working for me thus far is his rationale for turning heel. When Cena initially turned heel at Elimination Chamber 2025, he sold his soul to The Rock, and Travis Scott was there too for some reason, seemingly doing so because he was desperate to win his record-breaking 17th World Championship before retiring at the end of 2025. Or at least that's my perception of what happened, seeing as we haven't seen or heard from Rock since the Elimination Chamber. And to be honest, I'm somewhat okay with this, as after finishing second in the Royal Rumble, the golden ticket to WrestleMania main event for John Cena had seemingly slipped through his hands. And after the events of the Royal Rumble press conference, Cena's demeanour completely changed. He stared directly down the camera lens, expressionless and emotionless, announcing that he was going to be selfish for once in his career, and announced himself as the first entrant in the men's Elimination Chamber match at the Elimination Chamber PLE on March 1st, 2025, without having to qualify for the match like the rest of the participants. Not knowing it at the time, this was a cleverly presented tease to what was about to come, the heel turn of WWE's golden child, John Cena. And with the benefit of hindsight, it would make sense that TKO board member The Rock would allow Cena to end himself in the match, knowing what was next to come. But this is where the problems, for me at least, started to creep into his storyline, because Cena simply won the chamber match. Now, of course, Seth Rollins would screw CM Punk, allowing Cena to get an easy win. However, Cena didn't exactly have to screw anyone over to win the match, or to guarantee his spot at WrestleMania. Ultimately, it's not a huge criticism of WWE's booking, as they were clearly trying to tease something without giving too much away. And granted, it worked. I didn't see the heel turn coming until Cena went in for the hug with Cody. And the heel turn itself was done well too, with Cena, The Rock, and Travis Scott, for some reason, beating the ever-living piss out of Cody, leaving him and the entire WWE universe in complete disbelief. However, the what's next part of this storyline so far has been better than the reality of what we've seen. Because to be honest, John Cena can't act for shit. So let's take a look at Cena's promos since the heel turn. On March 17th, 2025, the world got its first glimpse of heel John Cena, as the smiling, vibrant Cena who rushed to the ring was gone. Whilst he was still wearing the same ring attire as normal, Cena was visibly different. He wasn't running to the ring, he wasn't vibrant or cheerful, he simply walked to the ring, holding his last time is now towel, almost soulless. Which, given the context, makes sense. And this is part of the John Cena heel turn storyline that I actually like, and hope they lean into this a bit more going forward as well. But on this episode of Raw in Brussels, Belgium, John Cena cut his first promo since turning his back on the WWE Universe at Elimination Chamber. Cena began by saying, quote, "When someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval," end quote. The fans continue chanting "Cena sucks" before Cena delivers a line that has been used several times since in his promos, that being, quote, "You're making this so easy for me," end quote. With Cena going on to say that the fans have only ever used him and stole his personal moments and achievements and made it about themselves. He also says that the WWE Universe has made him the butt of an invisible joke for far too long, and that everything they do is just fickle. Even the fans who wear his merchandise, calling them out too, saying they've never actually done anything for him. And to be honest, the reason that I even make this video is due to his two promos on the last two previous episodes of Raw, in Brussels and Glasgow. First off, his acting skills just aren't up to scratch in my opinion. I've never been a huge Cena fan, but I've also never been a Cena hater either. He's been a staple of my childhood, and honestly, I love watching him wrestle. And for all of his cheesiness, he's still entertaining and lovable. Cena's promos on Raw are meant to be serious, however. And sure, maybe it's just the years of cheesiness that we've been used to. I just can't wrap my head around heel Cena, and I just don't take him all that seriously. He's supposed to be toning in the cheesiness and being more soulless and disrespectful towards the WWE Universe. But I just don't get that feeling from his promos. I still find myself cracking a smile and giggling at his tough guy facial expressions and him screaming, "It's not funny!" to an audience of booing fans. And as I mentioned earlier, it's not his fault entirely. WWE chose to give him this storyline and he's doing the best he can with it. However, in wrestling, the less is more approach would have benefited Cena a lot more here in my opinion. Letting him go out there on TV and cutting 15 to 20 minute promos, he's just started to put more holes in the storyline than necessary. And again, this is all just my personal opinion, but are we seriously supposed to believe that in kayfabe, John Cena has been a heel not just since Elimination Chamber, but practically his entire career? Putting on a show and dance for 20 plus years simply to make millions and win championships? I mean, he won those titles on his own accord, right? Why would he have to pretend to be a saint in order to win? What benefit would that do him? And I suppose if Cena was constantly getting close to winning big matches but came up short over and over, the whole pretend babyface angle might make sense. But surely if you win over and over, multiple-time WrestleMania main eventer, 16-time world champion, he wouldn't exactly need to pretend to need the fans' support. And look, maybe I'm just an eternal pessimist, but the John Cena heel turn isn't working for me. At least, not yet. Okay then, where do we start? Because obviously, I'm not a WWE writer, or John Cena himself, so I can only speculate and try to envision where WWE could go with this storyline. Ultimately, we need the final boss, The Rock, back relatively soon, so we can finally get some more context and answers into how him and Cena came to whatever agreement they currently have. Because as much as WWE are trying to portray Cena as a forever heel, The Rock's part of this storyline doesn't seem to match up with that at all. Unless they're seriously trying to convince us that Cena and The Rock have been working together for the last 20 years in order to conspire against the WWE Universe and monopolize WWE. I mean, to be fair, it's pretty wild for WWE, but it sounds pretty cool. And it kind of makes sense on some level if that's the story they wanted to go down. But to be honest, from my perspective, Cena's two appearances since his actions at the Elimination Chamber PLE just haven't made a lot of sense. He had continuously gaslit the audience and seems to be misguided in his hatred for the fans, having this warped perception that they only ever used him and made his personal moments all about them. What I'd like to see personally is Cena drop the whole shtick of gaslighting the fans, and for WWE to drop the notion that he's been a heel this entire time. Have Cena snap and go off on the fans and reveal that this decision was made somewhat recently, out of pure desperation, to win his 17th world title, after realising it wasn't easy as originally anticipated. He wanted to come back and win the Royal Rumble and have this fairy tale story, but it just didn't plan out the way he wanted. He could even break down and tap into this idea that for the last 20 years, he's been putting on a brave face, desperate for validation and respect from the fans. You could have Cena go back and forth over whether selling his soul to The Rock was the right idea or just a huge mistake. And for the love of God, stop letting this man cut promos on a storyline that feels somewhat incomplete. It feels like Cena is being fed to the wolves, having to come up with reasons as to why he turned heel, when in reality, it seems like WWE creative don't even seem to know exactly why they turned him heel in the first place. But we'll all have to wait and see. After all, I could be completely wrong, and to be honest, I really hope I am. I honestly believe Triple H, TKO, Nick Khan, etc. have hit everything out of the park so far since taking the helm of WWE. And I hope I'm wrong about Cena's heel turn. But so far, I'm just not feeling it. Thank you everyone for watching this video. If you've enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell for post notifications. Also, please feel free to leave your thoughts in Cena's heel turn and subsequent appearances and promos from Mr. Hustle, Loyalty and Respect in the comments section below. Do you think the storyline is working, or has it been a bit underwhelming for you too so far? But that's it from me. Until next time, Empire.